AI ethics in general it may be considered a philosophy or a field or something that most people's lives are not directly affected by, nor necessarily a part of the conversation of the climate crisis. And I would suggest that it's vital. If we see ethics, values, and beliefs and our referenced history, individual and collective, as the informing resources or reference points, along with all the education we've received up until this moment in our lives, as our process of creating and determining decisions and our actions, and thus world results, and thus the generation process of life on this planet as we experience it. If we don't understand what we value, if we don't understand what's important, if we don't understand what is a necessary priority, and if our beliefs are not aligned with that, and if our ethical models that we operate from that support our decision models, that support our application of resources and technology in the world are not all aligned with sustainability, renewal, and reharmonization, then we don't apply resources optimally. We don't apply them with love. I'd suggest that any ethical model that's not based in love is not an ethical model. If it's not based in love, kindness, care, and compassion and service intention to all of humankind, as well as every species on the planet and the earth itself, it's not a valid ethical model. Therefore, it's not a valid decisional model. Therefore, it's not a valid basis for developing any technology that would then be applied in the world, because it will cause problems. It will generate an unhealthy environment. Because if our ethics, our values, our beliefs, and our referenced history are not supportive of collective global health of humanity and every species on the planet and the ecosystem, the planet itself, then we can't generate a healthy future for humanity and children. I agree with everything that Cindy said in her presentation. Brilliant insights and vitally necessary information to transdisciplinarily inform this conversation, which will then inform Howard's conversation, which will then hopefully be turned into a synthesis, if you will, in all your hearts, minds, and souls, as to say, all of these are key pieces to the puzzle of our solving the climate crisis, all three of these presentations, and they're all facets of the same diamond. They're all parts of the same process. So I'm going to have to curtail my my presentation, it appears. So I'll cut to the chase. AI in its present moment is not ethical, profoundly not ethical, if it's being generated by current educational systems that are not focused on transformation into sustainability and into renewal, regeneration, and reharmonization with the planet. Our baseline definition of ethics is, does it generate that future? If it doesn't, it's not ethical. If it doesn't, it's not truly based in necessary values. And it's not going to create a healthy future for the planet or for our children. Right now, our current technology base is, in its totality, is toxic to the planet. That's really a foundational statement. Everything we've innovated, everything we call a solution, everything we call a minimal viable product is currently, for the most part, toxic to the planet. So that's not a judgment, that's not a criticism. No one's done anything wrong. The world isn't bad. Human beings are not bad as a species, and we're not aligned with the health of the planet. And we need to become aligned with the health of the planet. Until and unless we do, we will continue to shoot ourselves in the foot, metaphorically. We will continue to damage the future that could be the home and place of life for our children and for other species. We will continue to wantonly create extinction. Perhaps 1 million more species by 2050 will go extinct via this process of our operating from exploitation and colonization and extraction mindsets and mentalities, placing profit first. As an organization, we would suggest as an ethical value that money has no value at all unless it is fully aligned with sustainability, renewal, regeneration, and reharmonization with the planet. Any other utilization of application of money beyond those as superordinate values and ethical goals and priorities is invalid. I would also suggest that work, redefining work on this planet, ethically aligning it with those superordinate goals is vitally necessary. If we don't align every bit of work that we do for the rest of the next 100 years, perhaps, with sustainability, regeneration, and reharmonization with the planet, we will miss the mark. We will not get traction. We will not get impact. We will not transform gracefully and harmoniously and with minimal pain and loss and suffering and loss of life and species. We just won't do it because we're doing something else. Foundationally, we're choosing otherwise. We must embody our ethics. So this necessity for organized collaboration to generate global health, we would refer to as murmuration, the healthy movement of a flock of birds or school of fish or a herd of animals. We must operate that much in harmony with the ecosystem. If we don't, we'll be operating out of harmony with the health of the ecosystem. As Cindy was saying, any predator that begins consuming everything in the environment is going to generate a dysfunction in the environment. We have amplified our predatory tendencies as a species via technology, and we're about to do that with AI. We're already doing it with AI. We are attacking our own children with social media and misinformation, generating division in the world, and that's not ethical. And that's not a process of education, of healthy education. And businesses and all of their algorithms that are currently not aligned with these superordinate goals are, in our view, harming children and the world today and all other species on the planet and future generations. Next slide. So AI is a powerful tool. And if you ever heard the expression, the tail wagging the dog, well, money wags the dog. Money uses us. We don't use money. Our current value, our current application, our current understanding of money is defining our future. We must change its meaning. Ethics are about what means something to us and how we operate from that meaning. What we value, what we prioritize, what we love, what we care about, what we're willing to give to and for, what we're willing to apply and go through pain and heartfelt suffering if necessary for our children's futures. What could be more important than that? So we can harm ourselves. We're winding in problems today with AI. We're dividing humanity rather than uniting and mobilizing, organizing, and generating collaboration with AI. That must change globally as fast as possible. The investment in AI for any other reason is, in our view, from an ethical vantage point, an educational vantage point, a business vantage point, is not valid. We must put a line in the sand in regard to AI development. And there are very few ways to do that. And one of them is to generate an AI commons, which we advocate as an organization, where standard ethics, standard policy making, standard governance and policing, when or how and why necessary, and standard application of all data and curation of all data, it occurs. If we do not have that, then we will have this sporadic hit or miss, out of sync, battling each other, competing over the scraps of the world, what's left over in terms of resources, nationally and internationally, and remain blind and obscured to the true nature of the polycrisis while the Titanic sails on to the iceberg. We need a new navigation system. AI can be it. And we're doing our best to build that into the Phoenix platform. That said, somehow, some way, whether it's a United Nations effort or whatever, it must occur. There is no other technology which will allow us to organize, aggregate, collaborate, efficiently apply resources, make wise decisions collectively, individually, and locally, and generate the necessary traction to generate sustainability, reharmonization with the planet, and regeneration of the planet, which we have toxified and damaged through our current agricultural methods, et cetera. If there's no adequate decision AI support system, there'll be no adequate decision, no adequate organized efforts. There will be no adequately informed and educated efforts. There will be no necessarily scalable efforts that get traction and impact positive, constructive influence and transformational influence in the world. And that's why we have been at a standstill as a species for the last 40 years, knowing the problems that face us right now. We have not had a solution that we were willing to, a tool, a technology we were willing to apply with optimal ethics for the survival of our species and every other species and the future of the children. This is a rescue effort, by the way. We're rescuing the future from us. If you heard of the Thai cave situation where they rescued the children that were caught in the cave, 10,000 people organized improvisationally, simultaneously. They worked together. All of those children, as far as I recall, lived. One of the divers died in the process. One died later on. That said, we have the capacity, if we are willing to center ourselves in our hearts and our souls and love each other and love the future and love our own children and love other species enough. And that's ethics. If it doesn't do that, it's words on paper. It's a waste of time and effort. It's spinning our wheels. We need to take action now. So the conversations of the world must align with those future values in necessary ways. Business must do the same. Education must do the same. Governance systems, nations must do the same. Crowdsourced efforts must do the same. Genders must do the same. Cultures must do the same. We must put our history, our wounding, which we have valued as one of our highest ethics, our wounding, we have valued more highly than generating a healthy future for the world. Our hatred, our fear, our judgments of each other, our mistrust of each other between nations, between organizations, our competitive focuses have been our values and have been our ethics above love. It's got to change now. There's no other way around it. Next slide.
John, were you, I'm getting a message.
I've completed my conversation. There was another slide I was hoping could be presented. If it cannot be presented, that's okay, and it's not a problem.
Just where is it? It's not.
I chatted to you about it. It's water under the bridge. Don't worry about it. It's the slide that I mentioned at the beginning of my talk with the superordinate goals of renewal, regeneration, reharmonization.
I have that. Would you like me to bring it up still?
If you would, that would be fantastic. And thank you, folks, for we're trying to improvisationally respond to you wonderful folks and offer you a fulfilling information resource. This is our compass. This is our guidance system that AI can empower and amplify and magnify in this world. It's very simple. Prioritizing reharmonization of humanity with nature in every possible way. Renewal, conservation, rebalancing, and regeneration of the ecosystems. Sustainability, resilience, and adaptation, and generation of what are called, in air quotes, solutions. Technologies and algorithms, or an algorithm is just a way to make something happen in the world, by the way. It's not some high-tech concept. Cutting down a tree and burning the wood to cook your food is an algorithm. So if we don't unify, align, mobilize, educate, equally include, and balance the empowerment of every person, every gender, every race, every culture, every nation, if we don't synchronize the global reorganization transformational process, we don't operate from a new set of superordinate values and generate our priorities based upon those values and apply resources in an evolving way in alignment with all of that, then we don't apply the transformational capacities, co-creative capacities of our species optimally. AI can make all of this happen. It can make the evolution of human rights on this planet manifest if we apply that tool of AI that way. That's the standard of ethics for the globe. That's the standard of ethics for humanity, and human rights as equal, only equal to the rights of other species and the planet itself. Otherwise, there will not be balance. There will not be harmony. There will not be true solution. There will not be sustainability. We will not renew the planet. And we will not live in loving harmony with the planet. Sorry for being so long. You're incredibly kind. I hope I have a lot of passion about this, and you've been very, very patient with me. Thank you.